Magandang gabi, I'm Cruz-Angeles for Luminous with Trixie, Cruz-Angeles and Ahmed, Paglinawan. Pag-usapan lang po natin ngayon, mabilis lang, si Andy Bautista kasi maraming nagtatanong. Ano na nangyari kay Andy Bautista? Anong mangyayari? What's going on? Kasi wala na tayong narinig tungkol sa kanya. Recap tayo. Nagkaroon ng Senate investigation ang Committee on Banking and Finance, which is headed by Senator Chis Escudero. And in the course of that, nag-issue ng warrant of arrest si Senator Escudero because at first nagpadala sila ng summons sa kanya and then Andy Bautista left for the US. When he left for the US, pinadala na naman siya ng isa pang summons and hindi siya dumating. So nag-issue ng parang arrest warrant because the Senate can arrest you pagka in contempt ka. So nag-issue ng parang arrest warrant ang Senate requiring him to come to the next hearing or be brought to detention, also in the Senate or as Com-Filed has shown, possibly somewhere else. Because he needed to answer some questions regarding yung practices nga sa banking and finance. The reason the investigation was called dahil dun sa revelations nga ng estranged wife ni Attorney Bautista, si Tisha Bautista, who says that she found bank books from the Luzon Development Bank at saka evidence of deposits there. At meron ding nabanggit ang NBI, which is still investigating his case, regarding the transfers. When Andy Bautista was chairman of the PCGG, nagpalipat siya ng mga bank accounts ng ibang sequestered companies to the Luzon Development Bank. As Thinking Pinoy revealed, ang Luzon Development Bank is owned by a high school classmate of Attorney Andres Bautista, or at least the family of a high school classmate of Attorney Bautista. So napatunayan that there is a link between Attorney Bautista and the owners of Luzon Development Bank. So itong practice na to, of course, with the transfer of so much money into Luzon Development Bank plus yung paggamit sa kanya in the course of the chairmanship of Mr. Bautista of the PCGG, naging cause for investigation dito sa Senado. In the course of the investigation, yun nga, nag-issue ng warrant of arrest. But what Attorney Bautista did was he sent his lawyer. At ang sabi ng lawyer, kami na lang po, we will answer the questions for him. Senator Chis Escudero then decided that okay, that we will allow that. Pinadalan siya ng questions, dinala ng lawyers, nasagot naman yung questions. Many of the questions were of course not answered either by the officials of the Luzon Development Bank, citing the bank secrecy law. Tapos si Attorney Bautista, he simply, we're not sure about what his answers are. Basta nag-submit yung lawyer niya ng mga sagot to the Senate. Nung ginawa niya yun, nung ginawa ng lawyers niya yun, winido na ni Senator Chis Escudero yung warrant Attorney Bautista, and eventually natapos na po yung investigation ng banking and finance. Sorry, other day. Ngayon ko lang napalan. Okay. Ngayon, ang daming nagtatanong, hindi na umuwi si Andy Bautista, and what is going on? In the meantime, diba, remember, nag-file din ng kaso yung estranged wife niya for violence against women and children, in particular for his failure to provide support to her, at saka other things that he had committed in the course of his marriage to her. Naghiwalay na po sila. Tumutuloy naman po yung kaso na yun, and we understand that it's still at the preliminary investigation stage, but eventually it's going to be, for his failure to appear, it's all eventually going to be filed in the proper regional trial court. So, in the meantime also, given the evidence that Tisha Bautista was able to obtain, at first the court where she had initially presented, sa court na pala, nasa court na yung kanyang vowsy case, sorry, where she had presented this evidence, hiningi ng kabilang partido, ng partido ni Andy Bautista, yung mga originals, mga documents na yun, and the court ordered the return of those documents, but allowed Mrs. Bautista, Tisha Bautista's lawyers, and her to make certified true copies of the documents, at ito ay maaaring isumite bilang ebidensya in whatever case may be filed against him later on. Okay, So, naka-safety naman po yung ebidensya na yon, even if the originals had been returned to him, or at least to his lawyers. In the meantime, may kaso din naman siyang naka-file doon sa NBI. Iniimbestigahan ang allegations of graft and corruption, violation of Republic Act 3019, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, as well as possibly plunder and any other cases related to his chairmanship sa PCGG and possibly his chairmanship in the COMELEC. So, iniintay na lang na, from what we understand, tapos na yung investigation ng NBI, we're waiting for the NBI to file the case with the prosecutor's office. Hindi pa po yata nagagawa yon. And in the meantime, ang daming nagtatanong, hindi ba pwede pauwiin si Andy Bautista? Hindi po pwedeng i-cancel ang passport niya. Hindi po pwedeng gawin yon. Kaya huwag niyo pong pagbintangan si Secretary of Foreign Affairs Alan Peter Cayetano kung bakit hindi niya kina-cancel yung passport ni Andy Bautista, because there are only 3 grounds for cancellation of passport. One is if the person is a fugitive from justice, given wala naman siyang existing warrant of arrest right now, hindi mako-consider na fugitive from justice siya. 2, if he has been convicted of a criminal offense, pwedeng i-cancel yung passport niya at compel him to come home and serve his sentence. Tapos, and third, if you have fraudulently acquired the passport, which wala namang allegation na ginawa ni Andy Bautista yan. So right now, wala pa pong grounds pa i-cancel yung passport niya. But there will be kung ma-file ng NBI yung kaso at ito ay masampa sa court. Once magkaroon ng probable cause at maipakita dun sa court, tapos alam natin na tumakbo na siya, hindi siya bumabalik despite the notice given to him, then he will be considered a fugitive from justice. Sabi ni Renbal Valdivia, bakit di siya kinakasuhan? Kinasuhan po siya, iniimbestigahan po ng NBI, iniintay po natin na i-file ng NBI yung kaso dun sa prosecutor's office. Pero meron din siyang existing case for vowsy na final ng kanyang asawa. So, you don't have to worry about that end. Meron naman pong, umaandar naman po. Ang nagtataka lang tayo, bakit hindi pa na-file ng NBI gayong, from what we understand, posibleng tapos na po yung investigation, and we're waiting for the NBI to file the case. So, tahimik si Bautista. Bakit kaya? Sabi ni She Silva, well, one, the press can't find him, and 2, do you think it's in his interests to answer anything or to even to be public or to di ba? Talagang kung ako siya, mananahimik ako. One, he wants to be forgotten, and of course we cannot let him do that. We cannot allow that to happen. Okay. Na in the meantime, may maraming nag-speculate kasi ang presidente, may parang cryptic message dun sa isang speech na sinasabi niya, ay nako, kung pwede kong sabihin lang sa inyo, there's some things that I want to make public, so we'll understand it, so we will know which side you are on. But, if I'm going to release it, then you might say it's all too much politicking, so wag na muna. Sabi ni Nanette Obaniana, who is going to follow it up with the NBI, I understand that Tisha Bautista is following it up with the NBI. Pero wala pa rin. So maybe kailangan kalampagin ang Secretary of Justice. But first, let's find out kung reasonable naman, bakit hindi finafil pa ng NBI ang kanyang kaso. Yung kaso dito sa, or kung ano man ang findings ng NBI. So, hindi rin naman ginagawang public ng NBI yung reasons kung bakit hindi pa sila nag-file ng kaso against Andy Bautista. But from what I understand, there's a lot of evidence, particularly in relation dun sa chairmanship niya with the PCGG. So, that's how things stand now. Yung sinasabi na ng presidente, a lot of people are speculating that it might be in relation to something that Andy Bautista had told him. Remember, pag-usap si Andy Bautista sa presidenta before he resigned from his position as the COMELEC chairman. Hindi po ginaisin na publiko yung mga sinabi or whatever conversations he had either with the president or with the congressmen. Kasi remember, kinausap din siya ng mga congressmen when they were filing impeachment cases against him. He sought to stop the impeachment by saying that he would resign. Tapos last minute na siya nag-resign kaya tumuloy yung impeachment proceedings, diba? In the House. Sabi ni MRGB Khan, if his passport to be revoked or cancelled, can Bautista stop in deportation proceedings over health issues? no, he can't, because he will have a canceled passport. He will be deported regardless. Yung mga health issues, mahirapan siya kasi US side yan, he's in the US. So, normally, it will have to be the kind of health issue where he can't be moved. But if he can be moved, they'll deport you. Sabi ni Ying, paano po yung sa Smartmatic and Comelec? Kasama po ba yun sa kaso? Hindi. Ni-research ko kung bakit in-award uli ng Comelec dun sa Smartmatic yung kanilang contract for the next 2019 elections. Apparently, ang Comelec, merong clause dun sa contract nila with Smartmatic called an option to buy. Yung option to buy na yon is a lot cheaper according to the Comelec when they issued the resolution. Mas mura daw yung option to buy nila rather than to continue leasing the machines from Smartmatic. So they opted to buy the machines and then just simply use Smartmatic to help them operate them for the next elections. Yes, nakakainis. But it's a done deal. Then that's why I was wondering bakit hindi nakakasuhan ang Comelec or any of its personnel for continuing the use of Smartmatic services. Right now kasi, there is no evidence yet being used or at least being cited against Smartmatic that amount to participation in the fraudulent elections, which is why importante dito ang outcome ng kaso ni Bongbong Marcos versus Leni Robredo. Right now, the case is ongoing. Whatever will be the outcome of that can be used against Smartmatic later on should the case be filed against them, and the option to buy can be voided in such an instance, well, at least in theory. Sabi ni Georgie Loyola, Andy's brother is a co-depositor in the LDB accounts in question. As an American citizen, he can be subject to IRS laws even for offenses outside the U.S. Yes, and that can be initiated by notifying the IRS in the United States. Sabi, but only a person with personal knowledge can do that. Ask lang about Solicitor General Calida. Anong mangyayari dito sa kaso na isinampa sa kanya? Ito ba'y respack ng mga kalaban? Yes, clearly respack ito ng mga kalaban. And B, I do not see it as prospering. Bakit? Ang requirement, sige, let's move on to Solgen Calida since magtatanong kayo na out of topic. Solgen Calida has been under fire from only the opposition. Hindi naman tayo nagre-reklamo sa kanya. Supposedly because he has shares of stock in a security company that was able to get large government contracts, one from the House of Representatives and from other government agencies. Bakit hindi magpo-prosper ang isang kaso for violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act or an administrative case for conflict of interest? Magkakaroon lang po ng kaso dito kung dalawa ang dapat nagko-coincide na elements. One is that he has an interest in a corporation or a company, and that company has dealings with the government agency. And two, he intervenes in his official capacity. Meaning, the Solicitor General Calida is Solicitor General, he must intervene in the awarding of that contract as Solicitor General. Ano naman ang papel ng Solicitor General in a contract given by the House of Representatives? Wala. Diba? The intervention has to be in an official capacity. Wala. So we don't see this case as prospering. But clearly, this is being brought out against him to harass him for having won in the case versus Atty. Maria Lourdes Sereno. So yes, medyo hinihito siya dito. Sabi ni Jasriel Camilotes, we should sue Comelec because of the voters' data leak last 2016. Yes, that is a far more interesting case for violation of the Data Privacy Act. Pero titingnan natin if it happened prior to the effectivity of the Data Privacy Act. Sabi ni Arwin Aboganda, Karambola should have airtime in PTV. You guys can be helpful for right and correct information. Yeah, pero bigat na sa amin. Sabi ni Renbal Valdivia, bakit biglang nanahimik si Cheese sa investigation against Andy in relation to his deposits in DBP? Tapos na kasi yung investigation. Hindi na-cancel yung passport because yung mga tanong ay nasagot ng abogado ni Andy. Submit na po yung mga sagot, conclude na po yung investigation. So it is done. It is over. So, wag na kayo mag-expect na meron pang ilalabas ng Senado. And if you think that they choked, yes, they did. They choked. They stopped. Could have issued an arrest against Andy Bautista. But a contempt charge is not enough to cancel his passport. He has to be a fugitive from justice or convicted of a criminal offense. Wala eh. Kahit man lang may contempt case siya sa Senate, that's not enough to cancel his passport. Sabi ni Randy, thank you for tackling this topic. I was asking this yesterday about Andy Bautista and he answered he is in the United States. Yes, he is in the United States. Okay. Anything else? Recap natin. Si Andy Bautista may kaso, inimbestigahan siya ng NBI, pero hindi pa po na-file sa prosecutor's office. If that is filed in the prosecutor's office and it continues in his absence, there will be a finding of probable cause, magkakaroon ng warrant of arrest. Once a warrant of arrest is issued, tapos hindi siya mag-attend, he can be considered a fugitive from justice at pwede na i-cancel yung passport niya. Okay, so until that happens, hindi pa po makakancel yung passport niya. Second, meron din siyang existing case for vowsy filed by his wife, tumutuloy naman po yun. But, like we said, he is in the United States. At marami tayong interests in making sure that he answers for his crimes. So, yun ang so that is what's happening with Andres Bautista. What is important to note here is that we have to stop asking na ipa-cancel yung passport niya kasi wala pang grounds right now to cancel his passport. Is he being sneaky? Yes, of course he is. When he left the country, he knew that the cases weren't in an advanced stage yet and he could leave the country. He also understands that his passport will not yet be canceled kasi nga wala pa siyang warrant of arrest at hindi pa siya nahahatulan ng hukuman. And but if he is found guilty, but that cannot happen right now, except probably dun sa vowsy case. Remember, the violence against women and children case filed against him is a criminal case. So merong penalty yun. If he is convicted under that law, and in that case filed by his soon-to-be ex-wife, then his passport can also be cancelled. So, tinitignan ko yung mga yung mga significant na kaso. Also understand that in relation to Andy Bautista's stint as COMELEC chairman, relevant and in relation to the Smartmatic Award, relevant po ang magiging findings doon sa kaso BBM versus Vice President Lenny Robredo. Because findings there of widespread fraud, if there is complicity by the provider, in the case Smartmatic, this can be used as evidence in the subsequent case against Smartmatic itself. Sabi ni Emily Cruz Kibana, bakit parang walang plano si Presidente ayusin ng COMELEC? Parang di namin gusto yung COMELEC chairman na inappoint niya. You know what? A lot of us feel that way. Even I feel that way. But I don't think it's because the President doesn't want to fix up the COMELEC. I think it might be that we're also waiting for the outcome of the BBM case. That is a very important case. Yung findings doon, even if they are only pertain to a protest between the two parties, if there are findings there regarding the participation of Smartmatic or the indispensable participation of Smartmatic, the findings there can be used in a subsequent case. Sabi ni Nardi, don't you think the opposition's game plan in all of this is to ultimately drag PRRD's approval rating down? Nakakabahala ang next survey. In relation to Andy Bautista, I think medyo far-fetched yan. Yes, of course, they're always trying to drag the president down. Doesn't have to be in this particular case. Noynoy's security company, which he opened when Cory was president. Yes, I agree that was, but nobody filed a case against him at the time. So, sabi ni Jen Dureza III, ang tagal na niya po sa US, is he a dual citizen or could he have overstayed his visa? The longest a US visa can be, kunwari, you arrive in the US, you're given something like the maximum of 6 months, and that 6-month period can be renewed. So, a maximum of about a year. And then, eventually, he will be sent home. Okay. What about if he is not in the US and crosses over to another country without knowing and changes citizenship? Is this possible to happen? Not without a passport. We talked about the case of Kalida. Melvin Dar Protasio says, kahit matapos BBM case, di pwede basta-basta makialam Pangulo kasi itatag na naman siya ng authoritarian, mapupolitika at mabibigyan ng kulay. Kailangan masyado maingat ang presidente. Yes. Okay. Kung wala wala na pong ibang mga tanong, sabi ni John Ray, ang anong balita sa mga payslip ng mga COMELEC employees na nakuha kay Andy Bautista, na clear na ba yan? Hindi nga ginanga nga yung basis para dun sa investigasyon ng NBI. Tapos na nga daw po ang investigation ng NBI, nihintay natin na i-file ng NBI sa prosecutor's office. That's exactly what we're talking about. Yung matters pertaining to the Luzon Development Bank and other evidence that was obtained by Tisha Bautista against Andy Bautista became the subject of the NBI investigation na pinag-usapan namin kanina dito. Okay? So, yung mga hindi pa po nag-share, paki-share naman po dyan. Yung mga hindi pa po nagla-like or nag-follow sa Luminous, please do so. Click on like or follow Luminous by Trixie, Cruz-Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan. Doon naman sa you can also follow on YouTube at Trixie Cruz-Angeles or my personal account which is Trixie Cruz. Here also on Facebook, we're also on Twitter. Just search for my name. Ulit-ulit na. Okay, uulitin ko ha. Huwag niyong sasabihin na hindi kinaksuhan si Andy Bautista. May kaso nga siya for investigation sa NBI. Hindi lang po na-file sa prosecutor's office. So, huwag niyong sasabihin hindi kinakasuhan or walang nangyayari. May nangyayari po. Yun na nga, nagtataka lang tayo bakit ang tagal ng NBI i-file yung kaso dun sa prosecutor's office since tapos na po yung investigasyon. At least yun po ang naririnig namin. So, other than that, kung meron po, we will again be doing another live on these issues. Dinadalasan ko na po yung live pero nagsi-single topic na lang tayo para maiikli lang and we can answer the questions fully. So again, we'll final recap. Andy Bautista, the Senate investigation has already been concluded. Wala na po siyang warrant of arrest from the Senate. Dahil tapos na po, sinara na po yung yung investigation dahil nasagot yung mga tanong na nire-require ng committee ng mga lawyers ni Andy Bautista. Merong naka-file na kaso pertaining to the evidence that was found by Tisha Bautista for investigation by the NBI at nag-imbestiga na ng NBI. Hinihintay natin na i-file ng NBI ang kaso sa prosecutor's office. And in the meantime, meron ding existing case si Andy Bautista for violence against women and children filed by his wife for failure to provide support and other matters during the marriage. So, Andy Bautista has not been, his passport has not been cancelled. Kasi requirements para sa cancellation passport, that lawyer ay fugitive of justice, she is not yet warrant for arrest. Two, he has been convicted he has been convicted, or three, the passport was acquired fraudulently, meaning fake yung passport niya. So, only in these three instances, po i-cancel yung passport niya. So, hindi pa po nakakancel yung passport because he's still not yet considered a fugitive from justice dahil wala pa nga pong warrant of arrest. In the meantime, although may ongoing case siya for vowsy, hindi pa siya nako-convict for that. Pag na-convict siya for that, then pwede rin i-cancel yung kanyang passport. Okay? Well, thank you very much sa lahat na naman na nakinig at saka sa mga matatalinong komento at matatalinong tanong. Kasi tututo din kami as much as you learn from us over here at Luminous. Thank you very much. Kung choppy po yung signal, alam nyo po na globe ang kailangan yung ireklamo. I was about to say globe na lang ang murahin ninyo. But that might be unkind. So maraming salamat ulit sa pagpapakinig at saka pagpapashare. Yung mga hindi pa nag-share, you know what to do. Have a good night, everybody.